Back.
And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
As a disclaimer this week, 3 out of the 4 panel members that I know of are suffering from emotional constipation, which means we don't see us giving a shit about anything tonight. So with Lynch wanting to choke a bitch, me wanting to just, kick a random child across a room, or Herm just being Herm, we got a lot to discuss.
Like more than usual?
More than usual.
Wow.
And we have a big announcement right after I say the following words. Strap in, bitches. You're on the train. Welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck
Nice
yeah.
to see you at Golden Corral this evening.
What is that on your shirt?
It's Amory King saying sandwiches. Bitches.
Nice.
Sandwiches.
Nice.
He's got some good stuff.
Yeah, he does. I love his shit.
Did you watch
All
his
right.
Peterbilt commercials?
Yes.
Yeah, they're funny.
I lost my shit. Those were funnier than fuck. Here we go again. We're getting off the rails on the crazy train. All right, kids. My name is Chris Burns. With me, as always, right underneath, it's Ted Kaczynski himself.
Nice.
Chris Lynch.
And of
Baby
course,
got splat.
There you go. In the upper left corner, the producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair, it's Big Herm Michael P.S. Herman.
Hello.
And with us tonight and any Tuesday night he chooses, he will be a regular contributor. We are putting him on the team, and he is ready to go. He is your pinch hitter. He is Raul Ibanez and Joey Cora wrapped into one. He'll get neither of those references because he admits he doesn't like sports. Ladies and gentlemen, if I were the president, I need a Secretary of the Lotion. It's Matt Marsh. Welcome to the team.
Secretary of Lotion. Put in the basket.
That's it. At some point, I'll have to explain to the people, if they ask, what the Secretary of the Lotion means. That was too funny. That was some of the best threads. It was you, me, and Kim Keen, if I'm not mistaken.
Keen, yep.
And that song will stay in your head forever.
Oh, Lord. Good times. Good times.
One day we were having that chat, and I'm in the grocery, and they got the elevator music going. Dun, 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 the girl from Ipan. It doesn't matter what was playing. And in my head, all I can hear is, lower a rope to you, the bucket on the line. And I'm singing the fucking Lotion song in my head.
Put the fucking lotion in the basket.
But, hey, you made it this far. Let's see how long he lasts. My bet is 6 episodes. That's it.
6 episodes?
Yeah, he'll get pissed off. He'll get, upset.
He's in it for a long haul.
I know. So the basic rule, Matt, is when Herm puts up the teaser, you have to share it. We're trying to get eyes on the prize here.
The teaser?
So every week, he'll put it up.
I throw it up in the group chat and say that this is the show link, share it, and then later in the day, literally just so that it doesn't get stepped on, about an hour before showtime, I throw the studio link into that conversation thread.
Like the Speedway review, which, by the way, you guys should be watching the Speedway review this week. If you ever wanted to hear me shut up for 10 minutes, when we talk about the Clash, I'm not talking about the Clash. I got very little to say about that amalgamation of horseshit.
I think we'll have very little that's positive to say. I think we'll have a lot of critiquing going on.
Well, I'm going to tell you,
they've already said that they will keep it in Cali. They are not doing this at the Coliseum.
They're moving away from the Coliseum,
they're not doing the Coliseum.
It's piqued my interest, but I'm going to listen because Dale Jr. just dropped his new show today, and he's talking all about it. I'm going to see if I can pick any information from Dale Jr. download. Don't listen to that show.
I got money that says they go to Sonoma. but that's just
Either
me.
Sonoma or Fontana if it's ready, but that's a different show. You
It
didn't
is.
come here for that.
Fuck
You
Dale
came
Brittle?
here. You came here for the $12.99
to listen
topic
to us
sampler.
complain.
Yes.
Nice.
The
Fontana,
poo-poo
that's kind
platter.
of cheese, isn't it?
Yeah,
What's
and
that?
That's Fontina.
Right on.
Jesus Christ.
Fontana would be Frank Fontana from Law and Order. There it is.
Oh.
You
Hold
know,
on, I
with
gotta break the
the
rules.
shoes and the suits.
Matt cannot talk about racing ever again.
Fontina.
Two.
Fontana.
Matt,
That's that good cheese, right?
Hey, I saw Talladega Nights.
great.
He was on fire.
I'm not on fire, Ricky Bobby. Two. Matt can never talk about cheese ever again.
Again.
Oh.
All right, the rules are written.
There it is.
I'm gonna put them up on the fridge, and there you go.
And I break them
All
all
right.
the time.
What do we want to complain about first? I'm rolling the dice. Boom, Herm. You seem to have the worst problem with this. Let's talk about the new bill that would raise the retirement age.
Well, I think it's kind of
Oh.
fucked up. They want to raise. Actually, it's not raise. It's pushed back the age at which you qualify for full retirement. You can start right now. You can start pulling retirement at about a 30% reduction of total overall because you're adding like an extra 5 or 6 years to the deal. But you can retire early with about a 30% drop in benefits. 67 right now, I believe, is your full retirement. The whole shebang. You get all the money that you have put towards your stuff and towards your retirement, and they want to push it back. They want to push that number back to 70. So basically, they want to add 3 more years of work at what is probably the hardest time in a person's life to add work to. I think it's kind of fucked up. I mean, they told us we were not going to have Social Security when we were a kid. They told us it wasn't.
Yeah, be thankful, right?
Going to happen. Okay. And there was a lot of fighting done on our younger parents' part and on our parts to make sure that Social Security is still around and everybody's getting it. And this kind of feels like a sleight of hand trick. Like, yes, we're going to let you have it. And, you know, you've ran the marathon and a mile before, the finish line, they all of a sudden decide to add 10 more miles to your marathon.
Jesus.
They should have done it at the beginning.
Well, I mean, there really isn't a way to do it, but the fact that there isn't a way to do it and it be right. You know what I mean?
think
There isn't a good group that it doesn't really matter anybody who it is. It's just us right now that are looking at it, but there isn't anywhere on the map or the calendar you can decide to push that number back 3 years and it not adversely affect an immense amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think a lot of that stems from is that guys who are 20 years older than us continue to work beyond their retirement age. So it gave them
my points.
It gives the employers that inside, behind the curtain look at, oh, well, Chris should have retired at 65 and a half or 67, whatever. But he's 72. But he's 72.
But they're not working because they want to.
I don't know about that. I work with a guy who's 74. Yeah, he's the second best salesman on our team. I'm number 1. And he's out there trudging it. Just turned 74. He loves what he does. He's active. He's mobile. He tells me about, oh, yeah, me and my wife went hiking the other day. I'm like, hiking? You're brittle as fuck. You probably fall down a mountain or something. He goes, nah, man, I still got it. And to go to Lynch's point, I think that's the first mind I'm at. People are working later into their lives, whether they want to or they like to. So there's that thought process. 50-year-olds now are not 50-year-olds from when we were kids. You remember your granddad at 50? Oh, Jesus, what a wreck. Look at us at 50. We're still active. We're still mobile. We're still doing the shit we want to do. My other mind is the government has overspent and borrowed so much from the Social Security coffers. We got to find a way to pay it back, says the government. Well, let's push that retirement age up. Let's move it, and we'll have a little bit more time to cover our asses and do the right thing. That's all speculation. This isn't me thinking I know what the government is doing, but we've always heard, hey, well, when they need this, they're just going to pull from Social Security. Well, Jesus Christ, my mother put into it, my father put into it, all our parents put into it. If they're using Social Security, unfortunately, Herm's parents are no longer with us. But I got to ask you, did your parents dip into Social Security, or were their pensions enough?
My father was on Social Security.
Okay. And I'm guessing that's due to the stuff that went on with NAM.
No, he was on. Well,
that was VA.
That was all VA shit. But
okay,
he was on Social Security because at 63 or 64, whatever it is, he'd been working, and he got laid off from Foxwoods, and basically looked at my mom. He's like, "What do you want me to do?" And she's like, "Just fucking retire." I'm now working back east and making his money back east. He ended up with a much higher what my dad was getting as his average normal everyday Social Security payment a month is probably double what most of the people around here get.
Okay.
So he did pretty well with Social Security. Now mom retired early, but mom was a teacher, so there was a pension. So mom retired early, but she paid in order to retire early and get it full pension. She paid when she retired early. She paid in the discrepancy of what her pay would have been,
right,
over the next, say, 4 years, and she paid like one lump sum of X thousands of dollars into her thing. So like for $3,000, she got way more money because she was fully vested with the pension. And mom's money was disgusting because at the time of mom's death, mom was getting $4,000 a month as a pension.
Oh, that's pretty.
And because she was unionized, every time the teachers in Connecticut got a cost of living increase, every retired teacher in their pension also gets the cost of living increase. So, like I said, by the time mom died, and the way the system works is, I found out mom died and we got a check, and I was like, "Fuck," because the check just instantly got dropped into the bank account that I was handling. And I was like, fuck, how do I got to pay this? I got to watch it, make sure. And it turns out that the teachers union sends you one more check after you die. They send you one more check. So mom died technically in the beginning of August, right at the beginning of the month, very beginning. She got the August check. They actually mail you one full check post-mortem. So September, there was a $4,000 check that dropped in, and I'm like, I got to return this. And I called, and they're like, no, that's the way we work here. We pay 1 month past, so there's an extra check. But yeah, like they did really well retirement. They were retired and making $6,000 a month.
You can't beat that.
No.
Well, see, that's why my dad retired early. He retired on time and not age, because if he had waited another year or two with the next union negotiations, he would have been screwed. He would have been fucked because they were looking to reduce the retirement rate from, I think he retired at 85% pension down to like 30%. So he's like, I have to retire because I'm not gonna be able to afford to live on 30% of my salary for the rest of my fucking life.
Right.
Which unfortunately turned out to be a very short period. He was retired for 12 years before he passed. But that's fucking crazy. I mean, there are those people who like to work, and they say, if I didn't have a job, I don't know what I would do. And those are the people that, if they're retired and they don't have anything to do, they die early. They die early. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened to my dad's dad. He
Women can
retired.
go on for years.
My
Men,
dad's
not so much.
No, my dad's father retired from EB. He lasted another 3-4 years. Then he croaked. And he was a strong, thick, stubborn Irishman, and pretty healthy. But there's also those that have to work for certain benefits that Medicaid or Medicare or whatever pension plan they're on don't cover. And a lot of those guys they're people who are older with younger children, who had children late in life and didn't expect that oopsie addition to their monthly expenditures. So that job basically may or may not cover juniors school bill or school supplies or whatever. I think it's asinine to make the race longer. I understand the reason behind why they want to do it. Just like Herm said, we got to pay this back somehow. So let's buffer it.
If they're going to do it, the only way I could possibly see this working is it's got to be a 10-year lead out before it changes.
Sure, it's got to be done. It's got to be done over time.
That are 35 or 40 that aren't really looking at retirement, but as they approach that age, 50, starting to look, it's 15, 20 years before I get there. They need to know, and there's a 10-year lead needs to happen so they can plan accordingly. We need to plan for 3 more years of work, 3 more years of this, 3 more years of all of it. And I think you've got to give really long lead time.
I'm going to piggyback 2 points that were made in the chat today. This is where you guys are let into our secret world. I'm with Matt on this point. I'm going to work till I'm dead. It's just, I don't know how to sit still. I know when I was in my 20s, it was like, video games with Herm or, fucking around and drinking with Lynch or what have you. But, now a day without movement is just not a day I want to live. I want to keep moving.
There's a shitload of ways to keep moving without having a tote to the man. And that's what I'm looking at, bro.
I don't worry about that. I really don't. But the second part, I'm going to go with Lynch. We seriously need to figure out collectively, the 4 of us, how to hit the mega millions when it's up near $1 billion, split that shit in 4 and never worry about a goddamn thing ever again.
I don't even need anything nearly that high.
It doesn't matter if you need it. I'll buy a nice little house. I'll buy a nice little car. I'll sock a bunch of it away in investments. I'll donate a bunch of it. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure that my daughter has good and plenty other than what I have in life insurance when I go. And maybe, just maybe, I'll actually get that swimming pool full of Crown Royal.
There you go. What are you doing, Chris? Backstroking through some Crown Royal, bitch.
He went down twice and he fought off the lifeguards.
Would your skin prune the same way in Crown Royal as it does in water?
Hopefully
I think it would take longer.
It might preserve me. Look at Keith Richards.
I mean, didn't it put Napoleon in a barrel of brandy or something to preserve
I don't know.
him?
That's a really great question. I'm gonna have to look that up. So I think we're all in agreement. This was horseshit by our federal government. We already know. It's the way it goes.
So I got a quick something. Because,
all right.
So I remember last week I had remember guys who watched the show. I had a little blurb because I always I pull up random fucking nonsense names, but last week kind of meant something to me. Scrolling through Indeed and Glassdoor, because I'm a member of both, I start seeing these new jobs open up. And one that struck me as weird is the Department of Equity and Inclusion.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Director of Equity and Inclusion at Mohegan Sun. Director of Equity and Inclusion at Foxwoods. Director of Equity and Inclusion at Kraft Group.
Fuck you.
What?
Not fuck you. Fuck you, whoever is appointing these people Director of Equity and Inclusion, because let's be honest, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is just reverse racism. It means let's let everybody play except you who's white. Let's let everybody play except you who's Asian. It's inclusion by exclusion. Exactly. We already know, having, I think, 3 of us. Matt, did you ever work for one of the casinos?
Yeah, I was at Fox's for 7 years.
All right, so here we go. All 4 of us has worked for one of the casinos here in southeastern Connecticut. They already promote Native American preference. If you have 2 people going for the same job and you're just maybe a smidge higher or a smidge lower, they're going to hire the Native American over the guy who's a smidge higher or the girl who's a smidge higher. No big deal. You know this going in.
Well,
All I've ever seen in the last 2 years with
think
this
you do.
DEI initiative is that they don't want to get there by merit. I think Herm said it best. It's a quality of outcome, not a quality of opportunity.
Well, and here's the thing for me: the people who scream the loudest about not having the opportunity are the ones that don't don't push themselves
Correct.
to create those opportunities.
Correct.
I don't look at skin color, sexual orientation, gender, anything. You can give me any term. I don't look at that when I'm looking at candidates. I'm looking at, and this is what people don't realize. People have to. A business is in business to stay in business, and if every employee that they promote, they're looking at return on investment.
Exactly.
Where's my return on investment?
ROI
Should be
over
looking at.
DEI.
ROI. If I'm going, why should I be forced to hire somebody with a shittier track record, couple write-ups, absent a lot, comes to work late a lot, isn't quite as qualified for the position that they're applying for, over somebody who punches the clock consistently, is a great, fantastic employee, does the job right 99.9% of the time. I'm being forced to give it to somebody less qualified.
I'm
not
gonna
gonna throw out the I'm gonna reward you because you suck out loud. If you suck out loud, maybe this isn't a job for you. Find something you're good at and get promoted.
Have you heard one of the airlines? I don't know if it was Delta or whomever has started the whole DEI initiative. And no offense, if you're a woman, you want to be a pilot, great, do the work, get rewarded. The plane I flew from Gainesville to Atlanta had a black woman captain. Great. Get me to my destination on time. If you are insanely qualified to fly that plane, I am ready to go.
Can you fly the plane?
Bingo.
That's all I fucking care about.
If you're hiring, and I'm just going to throw this out here, if you're hiring Lil Wayne to fly that plane and he has half the training, we're all going to die.
Right, but I mean, I right, but also if you tell me that Lil Wayne is flying the plane and he's up there, I'm already going to assume that you've screened him enough so that Lil Wayne knows what the fuck he's doing. I don't care if it's Lil Wayne. I don't care if he's got dreads. I don't care if he's up there fucking tucking the hose. I don't care if he's up there trying to put spinners on the fucking plane. Can you
get me from point A to point B?
And can you put this bitch back there and keep me safe? You know, other things happen. Shit falls off. Their structural ability. I'm not talking about any of that other shit. Are you capable to fly the plane? I don't really give a fuck who you fuck, where you fuck, or why you fuck. Just fuck. Can you fly?
I don't care if the what's his name? Lynch, help me out with this. The big Indian fella with all the tattoos who's like in every movie ever.
Oh,
Machete. No, Machete.
Oh, Danny Trejo.
Trejo.
Thank you. I don't give a fuck if somebody who looks like Danny Trejo walks onto that plane.
He's not
Mexican.
Indian.
Sorry.
He's Mexican.
I don't give a shit. Can you do the job? Yes. Are you properly schooled and vetted? Yes. Then guess what? My life is in your hands. I trust you.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to see is, sorry, I don't, and I'm going to let you go in just a second. The last thing I want to see is some ditzy broad who looks like she just walked off the set of Mean Girls, or so I can be equal and honest. The last thing I want to see is like fucking Carrot Top walk onto the plane being all silly and goofy, hiring a box of shit. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to die. I'm going to die right here. This is it.
Right, but we all know that this is the new affirmative action.
And affirmative action didn't work for all these years.
Well, so affirmative action it
worked for some people.
Yes.
No,
it didn't work for me.
It really didn't work for anybody.
Oh, it didn't work for me.
Oh, and I'll explain why. First of all, affirmative action was never supposed to be a static plan. The bill was designed to run for a while, And what was supposed to happen was you were, after a certain number of cycles, your first inclusions and brought-ins under the policy would make better, would basically breed and create and have families and such that in the future would start giving people more of that access to the college. The problem is that they lost their focus. Instead of being able to pull some of the top best quality candidates as they did in the beginning in order to make this work, the overall system became, we need to there hasn't been tokens in anything since the 70s. It was outlawed, the whole quotas, all of that shit. But what you had was, you started thinking that you made people starting to look at the qualifications that pulled them in under affirmative action first.
Yes.
I've got 4 candidates. All right. Are they black? Are they non-white?
The Rooney Rule.
I'm using non-white literally to cover everybody else and not actually say a specific race.
Correct.
Are they non-whites? If they are non-whites, then bring them in. The problem is that as they started to focus more and more on why everybody, what the difference was, they stopped focusing on any meritocracy status that the system had.
Correct.
So now, instead of bringing in the best of, now you're just bringing in the best of what you're getting shuffled.
Right. It was like No Child Left Behind. It didn't lift anybody up. It just held people down.
Yeah,
right.
No Child Left Behind was a fucking joke as well. I mean, personal story. I went to college to be a police officer.
Liar.
Took 2 years of criminal justice.
I didn't go to college for that.
Fucking
1992 to 1994, I applied to every fucking municipality, 2 states, and went to interview after interview after interview after interview. The guys who finished behind me in my class, the guys who were slower than me in the physical, the guys who did shittier than me on the exams, all got jobs. And I flat out asked the city of Groton mayor and police chief why I didn't get selected. Because you're a white dude.
Because we need to bring our numbers up.
My story is very similar to that, except mine was the Norwich Police Department.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad you didn't get in. You would have had the worst fucking deputy chief of all time.
Let me tell you what happened. I was fresh out of the military. I was in phenomenal physical shape. I passed the freaking written test. Really, this was back before the you took a regional test. You actually interviewed by the towns or cities back then.
Right.
And I went to take the physical agility, and I was kicking its ass, and I got done. And the Norwich freaking police department was running the physical agility. And one of the guys came to me afterwards, and he's like, your scores are really good. He said, but you see that girl out there? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, she freaking is probably going to come in dead last, and she's got 3 times the shot at getting this job that you do for a variety of other reasons.
Fuck off sideways.
At that point, I was like, that's what affirmative action, had to offer.
And that's what it did for me as well. And I had an interview as a shift manager for Mohegan Sun in my department, 2001. Interview with the director and a couple other shift managers. End of the interview, my director says, "Man, I wish I could hire you for this job." Why aren't you? Well, I got to give it to the guy who's been here longer. Who's less qualified? Who's less qualified? Because just because you've been there longer, you get pushed up the line. Oh, how big of a fucking mistake that was, because he cost the department hundreds of thousands of dollars at one point.
Fuck that guy. So
you can call it anything you want and wrap it in any other little pretty shiny foily fucking gift wrapping that you want. All DEI is affirmative action, but worse.
On steroids.
I listen to a couple podcasts and I watch a couple YouTube channels of people who are in the music industry and in the film industry. And I have close ties to the film industry. And I hear it over and over and over again about the ridiculous survey they make you take as a writer with all these non-pertinent questions of like 25 non-pertinent questions because they want to. I'll use Disney as the example. If you've watched any of the Star Wars TV shows past, say, The Mandalorian, they're all fucking horrible. All of them suck. They're horrible because they've taken the Star Wars universe, shaken it up, and now all of a sudden in the Star Wars universe, everybody's gay. And
like
we
Gina
have to,
Carano lost her job.
That she was going to be my next point.
She was in the news again today.
She's suing
Yes,
Disney and
yes, she
Lucasfilm.
is.
Yeah, Elon
for
Musk
her.
is helping her with that, apparently.
Yes, he is.
Elon Musk tweeted out months and months ago, if anybody's ever gotten fired by expressing their freedom of thought and freedom of speech on my platform, contact me. I will help you.
Good.
And she's like, I'll give it a shot. And
Good.
God damn it, they're going after him.
Look, when I go to my
it's just
job,
I don't want to hire somebody to write if I owned a piece of intellectual property. I don't want to hire somebody to tell their version of my story. I fucking own this.
Mhm.
Guess what? I want it written this way. Because you're excluding guys who have 5, 10, 15, 20, up to 30 years of screenwriting experience and television writing experience who are better writers and don't know the property. They admit they've never seen a movie. They admit they've never played a video game. They admit they don't know what they're writing about. So it goes off the rails from being what it initially was into this, what the fuck am I watching? And
it's like if you're casting a movie,
if you want to fuck something up, that's the way to do it.
Let's say you're casting a mafia boss. Okay. And I'm not drawing lines in the sand here. I think when I say mafia, everybody knows Cosa Nostra. It's where I'm going to leave it. Are you going to hire Marlon Brando or Chris Rock? No offense, it'd be funny as fuck.
Well, it
See,
depends.
Chris Rock.
There were black mafia people.
Yes, there were.
They had their own gangs.
Yes, they did. But if you're let's say now you're drawing a line in the sand. Let's say I'm trying to remember his name. Mario Puzo writes this book, and it's about the Italian mafia.
Not Italian, the Italian.
Well, dude, stop. We're not going to get into this. We're not going to get into the semantics of how I speak versus the fleas that are in your beard. Shut
I think it's
up,
funny.
you. Thank you.
Want
Who
some
are you going
Doritos?
to cast? Someone that looks the part? No, I'm trying to quit. Thank you. Especially not those nasty ones.
How about a honey bun? I'm sorry, Chris. Go on with your point.
Is that a lunchbox?
Yeah.
Are you gonna hire someone that looks the part, or someone that will get you that? Well, if you don't have this many,
I hit every check mark.
yeah, exactly. The new check mark list to be considered for the Oscars. Fuck you! It's my film. I'm gonna do what I want,
Well, and
I'm gonna cast the best people.
They
Did you
admit
list your
that
pronouns?
dude, they ask you the most ridiculous fucking questions. That have nothing to do with whether you're relevant or not. It's mandated that in order to be considered for an Academy Award, you have to have X amount of crew or cast members be a percentage of the underrepresented groups.
So no one can write a movie about the Nordic Wars because everybody was blonde and white.
They did do a movie about a couple years ago with Skarsgård.
We're talking about now. We're talking about right
No,
now with this
they still
checklist.
can right now.
But they can't be considered for Oscar nomination if you don't
okay.
meet their checklist. This has been big news for like 3 years.
And it's just getting worse.
I mean, the Oscars I don't pay attention to anymore because it's
Neither
like a
do I.
bullshit peer fucking. You know, People's Choice Awards stuff where it's guys like us that are voting on it. I mean, I could see that, but even critics, I mean, fuck that.
I am going to let you guys know I am taking the plunge this Saturday because I can never nail down Lynch for an opportunity. I am going to watch the Barbie movie by myself, and I'm going to report back on Dysfunction Junction
I was gonna
page.
say you make sure you take notes, bro.
Are you gonna watch
you're
it?
damn straight. Because why should? Oh, everybody's crying. Oh, what's her name? Fucking Greta Gerwig should have been the best director. What's her nuts there? Margot Robbie, who
Well,
is
she
a
was
beautiful
busy
woman
fighting,
and
like,
can't act.
thought she was busy fighting like earth pollution.
I don't know,
Shit.
but
Your
everybody's
car-
crying the blues. Why didn't these people get nominated? And why didn't why? Because the Oscars for all of human history that it's been around has been for cinematic excellence. Tell me if you can tell me. And I posed this question to all the feminazis and others. The pink hat males. Like, if you can tell me why, I'll buy it.
Okay, my wife said it best. Aren't the Oscars about excellence in performance?
I just said that
Okay.
out loud
Yes.
in front of
All
people.
right.
Yeah, but
So
by your other,
we're going to all agree on that, and that's where we're going forward from.
Nobody's expecting
Okay.
Shocker to win a goddamn Oscar.
Okay,
well,
so
fuck, it should have.
all right, so
Damn right.
Ryan, what's his name? Wins.
Ryan Gosling.
Yes, him wins for his
The
role.
Yeah, he
Notebook.
didn't win. He's nominated. I don't know if they even went off yet. Did they?
Well,
Lynch?
no,
No.
but he's nominated. So here's the deal. Jen says, okay, so let's take Ryan Gosling. Don't you think him pulling off the Ken role is way more of a stretch of a role for him to work than Margot Robbie is as Barbie?
Yes.
Okay.
That's an interesting
Maybe
point.
it's not about sex of anything. Look, that is not
Hands
a
down.
Ryan Gosling role at all. He was not the smooth ladies man of any kind. He was a fucking idiot, and there was a bunch of other shit. All right, maybe the stretch of the actor performing the role was greater than what she had to stretch to do Barbie. That's all. I think that's all that the Academy is truly saying. She's not snubbed, but it's about performance, and he's done that was not his typical role.
No.
I mean, there's been years that I've seen what the best picture, what won for best picture. I'm like, are you fucking real? Are you for real right now? But that's my opinion. It's subjective.
Correct.
I mean, I'm sure if I watch the Barbie movie, which I probably will eventually, and I'm sorry, Burns, for not having access to you.
Understood.
But
we made a deal, though. Admit it out
we
loud.
did. Hey, maybe Saturday we'll watch it together, but not together,
Oh.
and we can text each other.
Okay, I'll buy it.
Are you going to be naked, slathered in mayonnaise, or
One of
I
them
mean,
is
Well, that's a Tuesday night.
Lynch will.
let's just
However,
call that
me.
Wednesday.
Well, yeah, Lynch will be slathered in mayonnaise. Me, I prefer jalapeno mustard.
Ooh,
ooh,
that's gotta burn.
don't rub your eyes.
Only if I get it in the
Don't worry,
delicate
Or-
spots.
it's not his
Or
eyes he's
pee-pee.
going to be rubbing.
Mm,
Not with
So
Margot
anyway-
Robbie on the screen.
That's my spiel about the DEI. It's not going to work. You're just going to make it worse because now you're going to have people who have worked very hard and are very good at their jobs not being rewarded like they should, and you're just going to be promoting non-excellence.
It's reverse
Yeah.
racism at its finest.
It's not even that. It's just it's wrong for the guy who does his job
Correct.
and knows how to do the job.
that's
Well,
not bringing-
I feel it's
I'm
worse
not
than
bringing
that
sex or
because
religion or anything else into it. It's
Well,
just
that's the thing
based
is
on pure merit.
the DEI thing now goes further than just skin color and where your heritage is from.
It's what you do Tuesday
Now
nights.
all inclusive to your sexual orientation, what pronouns you think you are, to all sorts of imaginary shit that we make up. So
pronouns.
it's worse. It's worse because now you're factoring in shit that legitimately on the application.
You couldn't
Your
ask that question.
No, on your job applications, you literally are told we are an equal opportunity employer. Well, if you're looking to hire all of this first, how is that an equal opportunity employer?
It's
not.
not because they'll take that verbiage right out of the fucking application. And oh, by the way, we're not equal opportunity, but you
We
have to
don't
fill out this
discriminate.
fucking survey.
We don't discriminate. We don't discriminate. It's not that we're equal opportunity. We don't discriminate.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to throw this to Matt. You get to choose, and I'm going to give you 3 choices: King Charles, Carl Weathers, or if you really want to put a quarter in Herm and watch him lose his shit, Toby Keith.
Oh, Ooh, oh, I guess Carl Weathers was first, so go with him.
All right. Your floor, my man. And your phone just hit the
And your
floor. There you
ceiling.
go.
Yeah. Experiencing technical difficulties with the
Please,
iPhone.
please stand
Please
by.
stand by.
Stand by. We're
Just
experiencing
wanna step
technical difficulties. All right, what are we talking about? Carl Weathers, the
Carl
passing away
Weathers.
of?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a damn shame. Freaking
Do we even know what killed him?
Death.
yeah, he died.
His heart stopped.
Okay, smartasses. Like what was
He
it?
stopped
Prostate
breathing.
cancer.
I don't know. I don't think they've
I
announced
don't know.
it.
I don't think they've announced it.
All right, because to me it was very shocking. 'Cause
Here's
the
what I'm
guy
going to tell you.
He seemed to be in pretty decent shape still for 70 some
Here-
odd years old.
Right. You see him on The Mandalorian. He looked good. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You have a Google machine. Look it up. Jesus Christ. I can't do all the fucking work.
I already
we
did.
looking
It's
up?
still not. It still doesn't. It still doesn't say.
Maybe they
No,
don't want you
they
to
haven't-
know. May-
They haven't listed it on the internet yet. It's not. I
No.
don't think they've officially released
May
it.
not even know. Sometimes they actually have to do an autopsy to find out.
Right. Maybe Brother Man just took a nap like Denise DeCenzo from Channel 3 and somebody goes in to check on him and oops,
Rest in
they're
peace.
gone. Yeah, right.
In which case, good for him.
That's what
Right.
happened.
Lived a good solid life.
I mean, it's not
Throw
how
the
I want
damn
to go,
towel.
but throw the towel.
Throw the damn towel.
Duke.
What sucks is that just a couple of weeks ago when the Cowboys were playing and got the ass handed to them, I shared that meme. Hey, here's Dallas at halftime, and it was Apollo
Yeah.
looking all good doing the dance. Here's Dallas at the end of the game. Apollo flat-faced, and then 2 weeks later
Yeah.
he's gone.
You can't retire that meme. I mean,
So throw the damn towel. I think I'm going to keep. But the up and down
Good.
shot of Apollo dancing and Apollo flat on his face,
right.
that I have to retire.
Because the look on Duke's face as he's yelling it, I mean, that's priceless.
Oh yeah. To this day, my brother is the hugest Rocky fan I've ever met, and that's one of our things every now and again. He was golfing when I was down there on vacation, and on a par 4, he's shooting like 7. I just looked at him like, throw the damn towel. And his boss, 76 years old, got the reference and started laughing as well. So his cultural impact, Carl Weathers, you didn't see him a lot, but when you saw him, it meant something.
He had a decent career, though. I mean,
a
a
lot of people.
aside from the Rocky movies,
A lot of people forget he was a football player.
Correct.
I did not know that.
He was a linebacker.
He was a
Was
linebacker.
it for Oakland? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about
Cleve-
sports, so
Cleveland Browns.
Maybe. I'm going to look that up. See,
I
I'll
think-
go to the Google machine because you're
that's
lazy.
racist.
The Browns? Cleveland should just be racist.
Yeah, and not even to black people, more to like Indians and like Indians from the east.
Don't get me started right now.
I think we lost Matt.
Well, those
I don't know.
those are
I
the
don't know
those
dick
are my
about
brown
sports.
people.
But wasn't Cleveland also where that whole LeBron James fiasco happened? Was that it? Where you talked a bunch of shit or something? Or what
Yeah.
have you?
Well, I mean, you've got to be more specific. Which LeBron James fiasco? Every team he goes to is one.
Pretty much.
You
All right,
got to
so-
specify which season with which team.
So Carl Weathers played for the Oakland Raiders for 2 seasons and then moved to the British Columbia Lions in the CFL for 2 seasons before retiring and going into acting.
For some reason, I thought it was Cleveland.
That's okay. No worries. I mean, nobody else thinks of Cleveland. So I'm glad you did.
Just your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That man is stuck on that rock.
Way to stick the knife in and turn it on that one.
No, man, I was shocked. I was very shocked. There was it's one. A lot of times, he's been sick, but I was like, fucking Carl Weathers. Jesus Christ, he's not that old.
Right. And for me, it wasn't so much his serious acting, whether it was Rocky or Action Jackson or Predator.
Action Jackson.
The one that sticks out to me is Happy Gilmore.
I love
He
that
showed
fucking-
he had
A
a
lot of people liked
comedic
him in that.
side.
It wasn't
It's
for me, but a
all
lot of people dug it.
Right. It's
I love-
all in the hips. It's all in the
In
hips.
the hips.
And he showed he had a comedic side because if you know Carl Weathers from Action Jackson, Predator, Rocky, you think he's this straight ass, there is no tomorrow rock. And he's just that guy. He's powerful. And he does this role with a big ass wooden hand. And he
Yeah,
showed
but
he's
you
got
knew
the
it was in
chops.
there because he delivered some pretty good lines in
Action Jackson, he had some good
Action
stuff.
Jackson. He delivered
How
some
do you
pretty
like your
good lines
ribs?
in Predator. You know, like he delivered some good lines. You knew it was in there, but like his body type was just perfect for 80s, for 80s and early 90s
He was
action
rugged.
adventure movies. You know what I mean?
I mean, watching him flip over that car, I mean, god damn.
You know, he always wore a shirt that was one size too small, so he always
true.
looked swole.
He did.
Dude, if there's one scene that embodies the 80s when it comes to Carl Weathers or any 80s buff guy movie, was the beginning of Predator, where he walks in and goes, "Dylan, you son of a bitch," and they do like this, and everybody's bicep is like
Yes, and
16 inches high.
From pushing too
Oh,
many pencils, Dylan.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper.
Do it now.
Oh my lord. But yeah, I mean, this guy just he had so much he had a whole lot of chops. And then, you know, going to the Mandalorian, I'm quite sure he didn't know if he knew shit from shit about Star Wars, but I'm sure he did his homework. Played a hell of a role. I watched that for a season.
He was sweet, dude. His Greek Karga. He did a nice job.
Yeah, he's good. He's very
I mean,
good.
he was no Billy D.
Well, no.
Hell no.
He was
But
no Billy D.
Billy D didn't hit his
He did
prime
pretty-
until
he was
freaking
pretty
Ladies
good.
Man.
Yeah.
With Leon Phelps.
Leon Phelps.
Almost nobody eats these. It's the back bottom gristle lumps.
Back when I was stationed in Korea, or as we used to call it, Freaky Deaky Sex World.
I love that fucking movie. I can't.
It's so good.
And people fucking hate it.
Oh my god.
I think my favorite one in that was when he's sitting on the chick at the bar. He's like, "We're gonna have to take your car because mine doesn't exist."
Mine doesn't exist. He's drunk. He gets into the houseboat. And he falls on the bed, and she's like, "Leon, we got to get you up." Officer, no.
Do it in the butt.
I gotta watch that movie again now.
That's
That's
awesome.
oh my god, that poem was amazing. But going back to your Billy D, going back to your Billy D point, when he's telling the story, he goes, "You want to ask him? Ask the man yourself." "Yeah, Lester, why do you tell the same story every time I walk in?" "Maybe somebody hasn't heard it." "Yeah, it's the same 5 or 6 people." Guys, if you haven't seen it, go out and see The Ladies Man. You will thank us all.
Oh,
Well worth the
although he was
95
pretty
minutes.
amazing in those Colt 45 commercials too.
Mhm.
Pass me a cold 45.
Yes.
Oh, the Colt 45 reference. How many of you guys have seen Money Talks?
That was a long time ago, but yeah.
Where Paul Sorvino says, "I got some Dom Perignon 85. He's like, "How about a Colt 45?
45.
Chris Tucker is awesome. Anyway, yeah, rest in peace, Carl Weathers. Hell of an actor. I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna put the quarter in Herm. We lost Toby Keith. Decent. I saw Toby Keith once against my
I
will.
saw him.
Hell of a performer. Had some views that maybe not everybody was in line with, but then again, isn't that what America's about? Having your own,
That's what it should
viewpoints
be about.
Not anymore.
By the way, stop. Timeout. Offsides clipping. I want everybody to notice Matt's sweatshirt and stop giving me shit. I have an ally now.
Hell yeah, you do.
Fuck yeah.
Great. Now I know 2 idiots.
And you
You never got
can
past the
suck it.
first sip. The first sip's gross. Then you have the second one, and you're hooked for life.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
I drank one of those my
You ever-
whole life. The whole soda, I did.
You ever have celery soda?
My mom thought, no, dipshit. My mom thought that soda was awesome, and I drank one once.
It was awesome.
It was.
No,
It still is awesome.
maybe
Yeah,
during the Depression,
Moxie is the best mixer.
but we
for
have
Crown
better
Royal.
flavors now. No, yeah, I mean it
It's
tastes
man
like
soda.
somebody. It tastes
I'll
like
give you that.
took
It's bitter
my great granddad
and angry.
beech nut spit and mixed it with molasses and turpentine,
Yeah, that sounds good.
and then put bubbles in
Yeah,
it.
that's good.
Put a little cool Cavassier on the top.
Look,
right.
and do
So
it in
this
the
is-
butt.
It's
This is
so
the part This
So
is the part where I usually say something about Herm, but Herm's going to say it himself by showing his shirt tonight.
I saw it. It's a beauty. I'm the
Exactly.
reason you have nice things.
And I have a
Yeah, that
tractor
sounds
supply,
good.
I have a tractor supply shirt on.
Nice.
I'm going to go
That's where we
crazy
get
on
our-
your. I'm going to go crazy on your butt and your money.
Ladies, if you're rich, please meet me at the
The
nacho
nacho
cart.
cart. If you're not rich and you want to bone, please meet me at the nacho cart. Wow.
I gotta
All
find
right.
it.
Every year or so, I share that poem on Facebook, and I just watch everybody lose their shit. They love it.
It is. It's fucking.
See, I have an ally now. Good job. These
I
two
love the
twat
Lady Jane.
waffles can suck it.
I mean, I drank Moxie on a dare, but I also drank celery soda on a dare. I
You had
also
a celery soda.
I drank. I
exactly
ate
what it's
gefilte
like.
fish.
Literally, the name is the recipe, asshole.
Yeah,
Like,
celery
it's
soda.
that tastes like celery. It's literally.
I'd like some celery and marinated in club soda, please.
Yeah, it's
But
literally. the
I will
recipe.
give you guys this:
Go ahead.
Moxie and celery soda do make a. They both make good mixers for certain liquors. That was the
Together?
only way. Not together, not celery soda and Moxie. You take like a nice gin and you put it with a celery soda.
How
A
did we
nice
get from
gin.
How did we get from Toby Keith to celery soda?
I'm not sure.
I'm just saying. Anyway, back
All
to
right.
Toby Keith. Fuck you guys.
All right.
This.
I got to see him once. My girlfriend at the time was like, "I got tickets to Toby Keith." Great, but she suffered through Kiss because she doesn't like rock and roll. But I went to Toby Keith. Dude puts on a hell of a show. Don't like some of his politics. Kind of like Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
If you go and you watch the show, you're going to be entertained. The minute he opens his mouth, you kind of want to
Yeah.
crawl under your seat. With the exception of the song he did for 9/11, which was fantastic. Everything else is just. It's like Ted Nugent. If you don't speak English, get the fuck out of my country. Oh God,
That doesn't
paid
age
m-
well.
I paid money for this.
Well, it's funny you say that. Is last summer, Megan had the opportunity to get us Springsteen tickets, really good Springsteen tickets for relatively cheap.
They were going for $5,000 at the time.
Yeah, we got. I don't know how. I don't know. Maybe she knows a guy who blew a guy, but
Yes.
Oh, okay.
and I was like, you know what?
Now
I've
you
seen
piqued
him.
my curiosity.
I've seen him. I know you want to see him. Maybe I know he'll come around again. Well, I'm glad I didn't because somebody I know who went to that show said it was about 45 minutes of music and 2 hours of him spouting off his fucking politics.
Yeah.
I don't pay for that.
Exactly.
I've walked out of concerts when they start chirping
I
their
just
bullshit.
don't understand why they can't just do what we're paying them to do and
Exactly.
entertain.
Entertain me. If you
Don't
want to
use
align
it
your,
as a platform to shove your bullshit down my throat.
I don't want to hear that. And it's
I'll
just
send
like
you. I'll send you guys a video when the show is over. And I'm glad I wasn't at this particular show because I'd have left. And it was 2 words that ruined. Well, first of all, it was a song I hate. Second, after the breakdown comes the 2 words that was like, dude, I didn't come here for this. I'm glad
Yeah.
this didn't happen at a show I was at. I'd have left. And when you see the video, be like, you'd have left that show? Yes, I'd have left that show.
I don't know much
Nickelback. I lied.
I don't know much about Toby Keith other than a few songs I've heard. Mostly, I'll go, "Ooh, who's that playing guitar?" And my buddy Rob will go, "Oh, it's Toby Keith. He's a really good guitar player." So for that, I can appreciate him. He was a pretty
Yeah,
decent
I can
country
appreciate
guitarist.
somebody's ability without their.
Yeah. Yeah,
I can separate
I-
that.
a
Wasn't
couple of
always
the
the
songs,
case.
right? A couple of the songs I enjoyed. He's not my vein of country. It's sad because I guess he's been battling stomach cancer for 3, 4,
I had
5
no
years.
idea.
3, 4, 5 years, and I noticed him looking different every year as the years went on. But I'm not an Uber fan, so I don't know behind the curtains bullshit behind the scenes that he had stomach cancer, and he's only 62 years old.
Right.
That breaks my heart. That breaks my heart when I hear of a guy who is huge in his business, whether it's acting, music, whatever, and to die so fucking young. I mean, it's a cancer.
Oh, yeah. Look at some of the guys who
It
succumbed to
sucks,
cancer
bro.
who were young. Eric Carr, Bill Bixby, Michael Landon,
Bixby,
all
that was a
young
fucking
between
tragedy.
the ages of 41 and 59. And, Toby Keith, good long life. You don't have to agree with his politics. You don't even have to like his music. Any cancer sucks.
Stomachs.
And yeah, my buddy Greg died of stomach and colon cancer at a relatively young age. What was Greg? 31, Lynch? You knew Greg Beard. Yeah,
ish.
Cancer sucks on many, many levels. And again, I wanted to put the quarter in Herm, but I think he's behaving himself. You don't have to like his politics, but dude could put on a show.
Yeah, my issue was that for all of the politics he pushed and was very much red and right and pushed that whole persona, within some of his business ventures, and he had some restaurants.
They were decent restaurants too.
No, okay. I'm not disputing that.
I ate at one.
My issue was a couple of the policies that he had.
Okay.
That for somebody who pushes as much as he pushed about being, a patriot and that whole persona he pushed, in states where it was clearly legal to open carry and you were legally allowed to carry, for insurance reasons, that all of his restaurants were a no carry policy. All right. So
was that state dependent, or was that a policy across the board?
It was a policy across the board,
company wide.
Regardless, like in Colorado, where I can go into a fucking bank with my fucking service fucking piece.
Okay,
and
all right.
The other issue was that he placed a no colors policy across all of his restaurants, which means you can't go in
wearing your cut.
Wearing your cut.
Yeah.
But he didn't. But he blanket policied it. So not only could the Hell's Angels not come in, and not only could the Nomads or any other like 1%er or like riding club, like motorcycle clubs, he also, you couldn't go in wearing like, if you were like part of like the Jones Beach Riding Club, which a riding club is very different than a motorcycle club.
Yes, it's a group of people who go on rides together.
So like, it's people that ride. Basically, he banned anything that stated you were wearing it that would say you were part of any kind of club involving motorcycles or group of any kind.
Here's where I'm gonna take that a little sideways, because a friend of mine who passed away 4 years ago, you guys may know him by a different name. I know him by Joe Laurinaitis. Used to bounce in his young days at a club in Minneapolis called Grandma B's, and they had a no colors policy. They didn't want fights. They didn't want different things going on in their club. And
it pretty much applied to your 1%ers going in wearing cuts. We're not talking about guys wearing like an AMR, which is American Motorcycle Riders Group, which is it's like I have an NRA jacket with an NRA badge. Well, if the gun policy stated you couldn't wear that, that's kind of where it is. You can't just bring in guns. You can't say anything about guns. And that was my issue with his blanket policy. It wasn't just 1% or colors. It was literally, I couldn't go in wearing anything that looked like it belongs to a group.
Mike, I'm not familiar with the terminology. What is cuts?
The leather.
A cut is what you're in a motorcycle club, you get a cut. That's your patch. You get patched in. You get a full patch. You get a top.
Top rocker, bottom rocker.
Right. You get a top band and a bottom rocker. Now, bottom rockers and they all have different meanings and stuff. Some groups have bottom rockers, some don't. There's reasons why they don't.
It means something.
Right. If you have a bottom rocker with your city, it means you're claiming it and you run it. And if you run in to somebody else's territory with a rocker that claims the same city, you're fucked. But and there's all of that. But my issue wasn't that he didn't just want 1%ers and you can't wear it. It was the blanket policy basically against every motorcycle rider group. So a bunch of us retired guys that like to ride for a living ride down there, and we can't go in there because one of our jackets supports our, the retired, the Sons of Ibuprofen Riding Club, and that was kind of
Sons
fun.
of Ben Gay.
You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
my god.
What restaurant did he own?
Toby Keith's I Love This Bar and Grill. There was one in Foxborough for the longest
I've never
time.
even heard of it.
Oh my
Neither
god.
have
I for Mother's Day one year I took Twatopotamus there because she loves Toby Keith. And the food was really good. Surprising. Solo. And no, the food was surprisingly good for a chain restaurant. No, it's Jabba the Hutt, dipshit. And she's like, "Oh, for an appetizer, I'll get the nachos." They brought out this plate that looked like it could feed 5 people with the nachos for $8.99. I'm like, God damn, we're getting our money's worth.
Beats the shit out of Guy Fieri's restaurants.
They
fuck
suck.
Guy Fieri.
No shit.
Sideways, fuck Guy Fieri.
No.
I ate at his restaurant. The food was great, but it's ridiculously overpriced.
Fucking ridiculously overpriced.
His food sucks now at the one at Foxwoods.
No, go
I
figure.
went there when
I was there about 6 months ago. I was not enthralled.
Yeah.
I went when it opened. It was decent.
We sat at the bar on like a Wednesday night in the middle of the week, and we couldn't get fucking service from the bar. I'm like, yeah, I'm gone through 3 sodas. Where's my fucking food? And then everything comes out together. Oh, this
Bullshit.
is cold. This is cold. How is it cold if it's been sitting under the salamander? Anyway,
Right. Let's leave Toby Keith where he is. Dude,
dead.
hell of a run, kid. But
I'd rest you.
politics aside, heck of a performer. So I'm going to let Lynch lead this off. Do you want King Charles or the shooter's parents getting rung up today?
All right, shooter's parents.
I have not read into that today. You dropped it, but I had.
All right. So I'll give you the Reader's Digest version of what I know.
I'll be right back, boys.
She was found guilty of 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
Involuntary, huh?
Involuntary. Now, it means she is guilty of taking. For those of you who are listening, if you don't understand, means she didn't mean to kill the people.
Yeah.
But she had knowledge that could have prevented it.
She was indirectly
Right. She wasn't actually intending any malice or hurt on anybody.
But she was
deliberately.
She is found indirectly responsible. Now, I think this is a paramount case. Now, it's going to set a huge precedence.
Big fucking deal.
This is a very, very big deal, and that's why I was kind of keeping as close of an eye on it as I could. And as soon as it came across my phone today, I'm like, yes. One way or another, I would have been happy. But I think this negates the parents just sitting back going, oh, he was a quiet boy.
What's the big deal?
What's the big deal?
No, it is a big deal. I'm saying.
No, but yeah. Oh, what? I don't know what the big deal. He never except bullshit. Now they're going to look at the parents first. What kind of home does this kid come from? What did he do outside of his school? Is any extracurricular activity? Is he a fucking hermit?
Well, I got to be honest.
Do the parents know anything about his social interactions with other students?
They should be asking all of those fucking questions
regardless. They don't.
But here's my point. Yes, look, I don't know what kind of parents any of y'all are, but I know what kind of parents I am. All right, I am in your ass. If you don't, your phone doesn't have a password, and if it does, I know what it is. If not, I've got a program on my phone that I can see any fucking thing you write. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. Am I up in your shit? No.
You don't need to
give me a reason.
As long as I don't see, as long as my spidey senses as a parent, not so much as one little tiny bit tingle. If I get so much as the slightest tingle, I am up your ass. I want to see the phone. Who the fuck are you talking to? How long have you known them? Where the fuck are you going? I wanted to know
came
all
back.
again. but I want to know where. Now I want to see the phone where you can hide it.
In your
So-
ass.
I'm not saying
Ooh.
this is a tough slope, but there's a lot going on. Also, the school pulled him in and was worried about him. But my point was that the school said we never had reason to believe. Well, you had reason to believe he was a danger, but the one question you never asked was, does your son have access to weapons of any kind? All right, and that question would have solved a lot on the school's part. Would have solved it because the kid did have weapons to a certain extent before the couple days before they bought him the gun.
What I had said, Chris, is that this case is a paramount case, and it's going to set some precedents here going forward, and probably scrutinize the parents first, and get some background on the kid. And
Yeah.
now the way police work is working now, it's the lazy man's police work, and we're just going to go with the obvious, which is a way to investigate. You go with what you know.
Mhm.
But at some point, I mean, why wouldn't that shit be dug up first? I want to see his phone. I want to see his phone. I want access to all his social media. I want anything he touched up until today. I want access to.
I guess my question is, how much did the parents know?
The parents knew everything.
Okay, so then yes,
everything.
because
He
my
sent
point
multiple text messages saying, "I need help."
They knew it. The problem was them accepting it
and facilitating.
and the problem was accepting that they knew and what he was, and they failed to. They failed to act in some way. They knew the child needed some sort of help, and they failed to do anything.
Okay,
she was too busy getting her holes filled by the fucking fireman boyfriend. I mean, that was almost
father.
I guess that's the clarity I needed, because
so the father knew just as much, but I think the father would have probably acted on it, but the mother's attitude, and the way, from little snippets I've heard in court, her attitude was just like hands off.
not my kid.
Oh, not my problem. Well, it is your problem. He lived under your roof. You're this kid's parent. It is your issue.
Doesn't this sound fucking familiar, Lynch?
Hold on, wait a second. Lynch, how old was this kid?
16.
Okay. So we're gonna look at a parent that was this kid's 16. All right.
35.
So we're gonna look at a parent that's probably mid-30s right now.
Early 40s.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Both.
what we're looking at is what I feel is a common problem today. You see, today we have a term these days. We have a term called mindfulness. And when I was a kid, nobody had to have mindfulness, because mindfulness literally means being present in the world that you and paying attention to the world that you are a part of right here, right now.
As a parent or as a kid?
As a person, all right?
Okay.
As a person.
All right.
Problem is most of these kids and a lot of these younger parents now need to have mindfulness. When we were kids, you didn't have need mindfulness. When you were expecting a call and you sat there and you waited for the call, it was on your mind. Okay. There was no mindfulness and having to be present in things, and
Because you're in each other's face all the time.
being sucked out of your phone and brought into the world for mindfulness. When you had to go take the bus, you had you paid attention because you were at the bus stop and you were waiting for a bus. There was no need to have mindfulness. It was just a thing. Now we have to remind these kids to have mindfulness and these parents to have mindfulness. And the term is basically a bunch of shit. It means you're not fucking paying attention to the world around you. And this is the problem with some of the younger parents. They were the first sucked into the phone generation. Their kids are fully sucked into the phone.
Yeah.
They are lacking mindfulness And that's the problem we're seeing with phones, is that your people they check out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about the Facebook bullshit, but you get lost in a phone, you get lost in your world in the phone. And this kid's parents were too busy with everything else that was going on to know their own kid.
Okay. What you just said kind of gives a little more clarity. In this situation, knowing what I know through what Lynch has said and what you guys have all discussed, this kid versus, say, the Columbine kids 25 years ago, 26 years ago, those parents had no earthly clue.
Not
None.
a fucking clue.
No.
They were all like, "What are you talking about? He's at school."
No.
Right. And then they go in.
They weren't getting in trouble all the time. They were quiet. They didn't make anybody even bat an eyelash. They were
Correct.
visible. This kid was
Well, that was
on
unprecedented.
everybody's fucking radar.
And if the parents facilitated any of this, be it by ignoring the signs or by, buying him the weapons,
Minimalizing it, talking
then you should get rung up. I look at it this way: if my kid, not that she would, because I think A, she's afraid of guns, and B, I don't think she has it in her heart. But if my kid went up and shot up a school, why should I be held accountable? I didn't buy her the fucking weapons. I didn't, teach her that, the way to solve your problem is to go to kill 35 people. No. It's the way you raise your kids. I can look at Herm and I can look at myself, and Herm can look at me and go, you know what? We raised some pretty damn good kids.
But didn't we see a very similar thing about 10, 11 years ago with Adam Lanza?
Yes, but didn't he kill his mother? So there was no way to. Adam Lanza was just.
No, but it was my understanding that she had supplied the weapons.
Oh, she bought every weapon.
Yeah,
she supplied the weapon, and I guarantee you, if she lived, that would have been.
I don't doubt that.
That would have been the case back then.
I don't doubt
she
that.
kind of had the same wild abandon and not being present situation and what's going on.
I look at me, and I look at the fact that my daughter lives 220 miles away. I'm on the phone with her, if not speaking, but by text every day. Lynch and Herm will tell you this. There's not a day that goes by that I don't reach out or hear from my kid. What's going on in your life? What's this? What's like the last book you read? Dad, shut up. I want to be a part of this. I want to help you through problems. And she does. She brings me her problems, whether or not I want to hear certain problems. But
you got to stay connected. And Herm hit the nail right on the head, because that was going to be my next point, is that it's the hands-off parenting that you just let your kid get lost. The phone and video games become your built-in babysitter.
And I had a kid.
They're not monitoring what you're looking at. They really don't care. You're out of their hair, so they can be selfish and do what they want to do instead of paying attention to you. Because this is the fast food generation of parents, in their late 30s into their 40s, who, like Herm said, they were indoctrinated with the phones and the social media.
Right, and the complete openness of the use of the phone. Like my kids grew up, every device I had a kids mode. I stayed with Samsung for a very long time because it was kids mode. It offered extremely limited internet access to shit. It had
cracking.
You loaded it in, you put whatever games you wanted to into that app. Those kids could access. So I could have classified documents on my phone that are secure because the kid can only access what I put in the app. And I need to put in order to get out of the app, I have to put a PIN code in so that it knows the parent has the device back. You know what I mean? So the problem is that everybody gets full access to everything, and nobody wants to put the time in to restrict, because
of course not.
Unfortunately, rules are love to a child. You see, rules are boundaries, and basically it's like putting a dog outside. if you put a dog outside and you put a fence around it, and the dog knows that everywhere within that fence, it lives an amazingly great life. Everything's awesome. Life is good. I get everything. Everything goes well. I get treats. Mom takes me on car rides. But when the dog leaves and breaks through the fence, now it's a bad dog.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the rules are the boundaries that keep the kids safe. It lets them know what their safe, secure area and behavior and everything in their realm is. Nobody wants to set fucking limits for their fucking kids anymore.
Not through. And look, we live in a generation now where
Any
everything.
kind.
We live in a generation now where everything Junior does is right and good, and everything that anybody says about Junior is bad. You know, I'm thankful that I raised my daughter to respect other people. I don't know what causes these kids to go out and shoot their friends. I don't know, because I'm not wired that way, and I didn't teach my daughter that way. I know that when I was a kid, when you met somebody new, it was yes or no, sir, yada, 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 until they told you, okay, you don't have to do that anymore. Call me, and they would tell you, here's what I'd like to be called. Not like the pronoun parade nowadays, but it'd be like, okay, a really great friend of my dad, or was a great friend of my dad, worked with my dad for years at the Norwich Police Department. He and I talked twice a week. And in the beginning, it was, yes, Mr. Jordan. No, Mr. Jordan. He's like, no. Call me Rich. Rich is now, 40 years later, I consider him family. And we talk twice a week. We have the best conversations. I listen to him talk about his gardening. He listens to me bitch about my back. And, I told him, someday just come on and watch a fucking show. Have a good time. We'll get him. We'll get him. But we were taught to respect people. Kids nowadays are not taught to respect people. They're taught you deserve the respect, which is horseshit.
You don't have to earn shit.
Exactly.
Everything's handed to you.
I go back, and Herm will tell you this, when in the mid 90s, the whole Barney thing. I love you, you love me, everybody's a winner, everybody gets a trophy. Lynch has heard me bitch about this for years.
Barney didn't push everybody to get a trophy.
No, he started the whole I love you, you love me, we're all equal. No, we're not. We're not equal. You fight for what you get. That's why you get grades. That's why when you graduate high school, there's the list. Where did you fall on the list? Were you top of your class? Were you bottom of your class? Were you somewhere in the middle?
That wasn't Barney. That was Caillou. Barney, I know, because I had a kid that was into Barney. And legitimately, Barney a lot of the times was about dealing with, you didn't win the award. You were sad because Barney was other stuff. But like Caillou was that typical show of I don't know. I
have no earthly idea what Caillou is.
What the fuck was Caillou? I
never heard. You guys know what Caillou was? The little ball looked like a cancer patient.
Was it Japanese?
No. You Google it. Watch one. You come back to me on it.
Fair enough.
About.
All right.
He was whiny. They coddled to him. It was literally and like me and Tammy at the time that was when our kids were little. We're literally like, no. I hate this fucking kid. And she's like, I hate him too. Yeah, but that's kind of the show where shit went wrong.
All right.
Yes, things did get too soft.
Kids today are soft, and the parents are softer, and that's where I'll leave that for now.
The schools started giving participation trophies.
Oh yeah,
that was the left behind shit.
Because after every episode of He-Man and G.I. Joe, I learned a moral lesson.
You're damn right. You know what? In today's episode, I didn't win against Skeletor. He kind of had the best of me. However, I'm going to come back harder and faster and do this. And I'll ride off into the sunset on Cringer or Battle Cat or whatever the fuck. We're out the door. Nowadays, kids are told whatever you do is good and wonderful and awesome. Yeah. My daughter, when she turned about 6 or 7, and we'll get to the Super Bowl in just a minute, she'd draw pictures when she was like 3. I'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is awesome. You're going to be a talented artist. When she turned 6, I'm like, not your best work. And my ex-wife would call me. How dare you? I'm like, well, it wasn't her best work. Now, my daughter would be like, I'll be like, hey, she's about to turn 16, so I doubt it's ever going to happen again. Like, why don't you make me a nice picture? I'll hang it up in the room. I still have a couple of them in my room. And she will work her ass off and come up with this artistic masterpiece. She's very talented. I'd be like, all right, Em, you did good. You did really good. This was fantastic. But I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And I think that's what's wrong with parents today. They sugarcoat everything. Everything you do is good and pure and wonderful and awesome. And when they get into the real world, they're fucked.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
And that's another conversation for another time. 10 minutes left to go. Matt, you're allowed to make a pick, even though you don't know shit from shit.
How about squares?
Oh my God, I gotta hear this. So the Super Bowl this Sunday. $5 pays for the whole seat, but Herm?
You won't even need the edge.
You won't even need the edge because it's going to be a fucking blowout. And we're going to go around the horn and make our picks. I'll start with Herm. Knowing that your son, he of the California tattoo birthmark on his arm, Travis, is a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan. This can make you or this can break you. Who do you got and by how much?
I don't give a fuck by any.
All right, fair enough.
I don't even know who's playing.
San Francisco 49ers will take on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Matt doesn't even know what sport the Super Bowl is.
Here, let me fix Matt.
The home runs.
Right. Denny Hamlin will face the New York Yankees in the Stanley Cup this weekend.
Okay.
I can tell you how I picked my favorite
That's
teams.
no lead.
Oh my God! See,
yeah, I got my whole thing is I got issues with the Super Bowl this year. Like I
make it quick. What do you got?
Well, I think most of America could literally care less. Who wins?
We're gonna make good food.
I'll be at work.
I'll be at Mark's watching the Super Bowl.
So it's always good food there.
Because Herm's cooking.
It's and this isn't a gripe. This isn't a gripe. It's going to be you're going to see a different style of Super Bowl this year. It's going to be very Taylor Swift and very girl centric. I'm just no. Given the crowd of who's going to be watching, mark my words.
Yep.
You are going to see more makeup commercials or products that pertain to women. More or
always with wings.
Maybe, you know what I mean. It's a good sale. It's good marketing placement. But you're going to see that. So just so everybody is aware, just so you know what to expect. But I don't have a dog in the fight, and to be honest, I want a Detroit just to go.
Me too.
I'm
all right.
not excited. I don't think there's a winner this year.
So Herm is picking the buffet.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go next. As an NFC guy, as a fan of the what I used to call the mighty Atlanta Falcons, who are now the mighty bad Atlanta Falcons. I'm an NFC guy. I'm taking San Francisco by a touchdown. The final score will be 31-24 in favor of the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
All right, Lynch.
I'm going Niners as well. Just because this will break Mahomes' streak there he's got going on. And I'm kind of sick of looking at his mug every third commercial while I'm watching football. I mean, yeah, and just it'd be nice if the Niners won.
I will say that cool. I will say this for one viewer who watches after the fact, and his name is Andrew DeCarlos. He is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Back in the day, I would pick the Super Bowl winners, and I always picked the winner right. I never got the score right, but he's like, so who's the MVP? And I always picked the tight end from the Atlanta Falcons, regardless of if he was playing. The MVP is Algie Crumpler. but I think in this game you're going to see either Christian McCaffrey
It's McCaffrey all the way.
or depending on how the defense works, I could see Bosa being the MVP.
Yeah, he could be. If San Fran's defense shows up, I could see that.
And he's a Buckeye, so it all works. All right, Matt, you're on the hook. You got San Francisco, you got Kansas City. Pick one, and by how much?
In my youth, I was a big San Francisco fan. And
You don't know shit about sports. That makes sense.
The reason I was a San Francisco fan is because I like their
Jerry
uniforms.
Jerry Rice.
Joe Montana.
I like their uniforms.
Oh, okay.
So then Joe Montana went to the Chiefs. But no, I'd go with San Francisco. I mean, my dream would be to change all the names of every team in the country and name it after food, like the Philly cheesesteaks and stuff I could actually get into.
The Boston beans.
Yeah, the Boston cream pies.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week the Atlanta barbecue faces the New England clam chowders.
Yeah, that'd be a good time. But yeah, I'd go with San Francisco.
That harkens back to my favorite joke a couple years ago when Washington decided to ditch the Redskins and go with
the Commanders
football team. Well, at first it was football team.
Yeah.
And I was like, this will be great when you get those Fox commercials on Thursday night, letting you know what's going on Sunday. This Sunday, the NFC East goes to war as the Philadelphia Eagles travel to Washington to face the football team.
Now, is that nonsense still going on in the sports? Like, are they talking about changing the names of the Cleveland Indians, or did they already?
Cleveland Indians have already been changed to the Guardians.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
The Blackhawks are safe. The Braves are safe for now. But yeah, it's just all bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, they made the Montville Indians change their fucking name.
That's horseshit. Let's take and here's where I always went with Washington before we close out. The name the Redskins and the picture of the Indian chief was an homage to the Blackfoot Indian tribe that came from that area. Now you took the name away and you basically named the team after the people that came in and wiped the tribe out. Good job, woke folk. Retard.
Didn't our high school have the same mascot?
You'd have to name them the colonizers.
I mean, we had the Ledger Colonels, and wasn't there some kind of massive genocidal freaking action that went on with him too?
Yeah, but they still haven't changed that name.
No, they have not.
No, because the woke folk haven't gotten there yet.
Give them time.
I'll be dipped in shit if you change. Look, I played one sport in high school. I'll be dipped in shit if you take the name of my team and fuck it up.
Yeah, they did get rid of the colonel. It's a sword now. There's
yeah, but it's still the colonels.
Yeah, still the Ledger Colonels.
They got rid of the little guy.
Right, but and it's just a sword. There's no colonel represented there. There's no actual person. It's just swords now.
May as well put
the logo, and that's how they did it. But according to the money line,
there you go, my man.
The 49ers right now are negative 130 on the money line, which means if you bet $130 and they win, you'd win $100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you Chiefs are plus 110 right now, so if you bet $100 on Kansas City to win, you'd win 110. It's only a 2-point spread right now. It's not. There's no huge decisive.
Yeah, degenerate gamblers are hating the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's nobody to bet big and win big with on this. You can.
I mean, the other reason I really want to see San Francisco win is because I can't stand Brittany Mahomes.
Fucker up her gorgeous ass.
Good.
Okay, so if the Chiefs win, does anybody else notice the interesting timing just before the Super Bowl? Taylor just is dropping a new album.
Yes,
mm-hmm. That shits on all of her exes.
Mm-hmm.
This poor bastard, if he breaks up with her, is a whole fucking album.
I'm going to tell you this.
I got railed by an NFL gorilla. Will be a pop song on the charts, #1.
I took. Go
Does
ahead, please.
Travis Kelce propose on field
If
the
he
Chiefs
wins.
win?
Oof.
If he wins, yes.
I
I'm
feel
not
like
much
it's
of a.
already. I feel like Vince already has that scripted. It's already written on a. It's already written on a yellow pad, bro.
I'm gonna shit on her head, and then you get to
I feel like
propose
Vince
to
already
her.
has that shit on like page 2. You roll it over, and it's like, yeah, at the bottom.
That's good shit, pal.
That's good shit. That's good shit. Run that.
I took $10 out of what little money I have right now because back injuries suck, and I put it on a parlay, and I'm going to read this off to you. $10 will pay me 164 if this all comes in. Christian
right,
McCaffrey,
it's all gonna come true.
yes, but when you listen to the names, you'll say, "All right, I can see this." Christian McCaffrey with a touchdown, Isaiah Pacheco with a touchdown, Travis Kelce, is going to get a touchdown,
He's going in,
and Deebo Samuel for a touchdown.
I can see that definitely.
Debo's the outlier, but he's also the guy they forget because they point at McCaffrey all the time. They point at what's the other guy, Brandon Ayuk, all the time. They'll double cover these guys. Debo's the outlier. He's that guy like Roddy White on the Falcons where everybody's double covering Julio Jones. Throw it to White. He's in the end zone. Boom, touchdown. And we're going to the Super Bowl, and we lose the biggest lead in fucking Super Bowl history. But
boom.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Enjoy the veal. Having said that, next week we're going to have some fun, but the week after, let me get the date for you. I'm working on a guest. February 13th, we're going to have some fun. February 20th is the week after Valentine's Day. So where do you think we're going to go, Herm?
Applebee's?
Close.
Ooh, I love their salad bar.
Kenny Rogers Roasters.
We're gonna celebrate Captain Cook Day.
What we're going to do on February 20th is we're going to go to the world of Reddit.
Are
And
we
we're going to find
some Valentine's AMIs?
Yes, Valentine's Day, am I the asshole?
Oh.
And we're going to find out what men and women, mostly women
it'll
probably.
be a couple of days after, and
they'll all be on Reddit.
They'll all be bitching about yes.
And because of what next Thursday is, I invited a guest. And if she can clear some time, she'll be a guest. It will be the newly minted 16-year-old, legal to drive, Emma Burns, no relation.
No relation.
Here on the show. Lynch's goddaughter.
What day is that? Does that doomsday clock go off?
February 15th.
Yeah, I already have it marked on my calendar. So, yeah, I'm afraid.
If I can take a minute, Herm raised up 3 boys, 3 wonderful, really good boys.
Like my 3 sons.
Basically, yes. And all of them have different my 3 Herms. That's fucking fantastic. All of them have different personalities. All of them have different, they're just different. And I love them all for who they are. I have but one child. And God decided to torture me with a girl. This was his test. He said, "Here you go, kid. Enjoy." There's not a day that goes by I'm not proud of her. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not ridiculously amazed at her empathy, her smarts, just her will to do better in life. Unfortunately, she's boy crazy, and I have to listen to that too.
Well,
now I want all of you right now to close your eyes. You 3, close your eyes and picture yourself having a 16-year-old daughter.
Oh, no, I'm done.
Yep, see? We got 1 tap out.
I'm out. Don't have any perspective.
I'd be fine with that.
Here's where I'm going to go with this. Picture us as 16-year-old boys, and now picture yourself with a 16-year-old daughter.
Ugh.
Yep, the end.
Ooh, it would be messy.
That doesn't matter, bro, because where were those guys when we were 16?
I don't know, man. Getting high.
It's a tough road to hoe, but you know what? Couldn't be more proud of that kid. So, Emma, if you're watching, love you. hoping you'll join us on the 20th. We'll figure out something for next week. Jesus, it's the 13th when we record again.
Yeah. Tuesday
right,
the 13th.
Because we do Speedway on Valentine's Day, and boy, is that going to be fun. But I hear drums in the background, and that means...
I got to drop this in. We didn't get to it, but
please.
I think I give King Charles 6 months.
I had 4 on my bingo card.
I guess
It's looking like it's looking like it's
for me-
prostate.
For me, it could be. Well, they went in for something and saw something, but
Yeah, but they
it
were doing a prostate thing, so
could be testicular. It could be a whole bunch of shit. But for me, the signal is that Harry is flying
He's
over.
flying in.
Which kind of reminds me of like I had just applied and was given a really amazing job, and I got that letter from my mom, like a handwritten letter about Dad not doing well.
Right.
And I dropped everything, told the job, sorry, I got to go. And I came out here for a month. But
Yep.
For me, it's Harry. Like with everything that's gone down, all of a sudden he has to be there for outpatient.
Yeah, he separated himself from the royal family, and now he's back.
Yeah,
he
like
separate himself from his wife.
Meghan Sparkle, they keep
Fuck
bringing me back. Godfather thing.
Look, I'm throwing mad prayers out to King Charles. Whether or not you agree with the monarchy doesn't matter. That's a human being, and
yeah, I mean, I hope he gets. I hope there is something they can do. I kind of have a feeling there isn't, just because the fact that the family kind of tends to be quiet and they don't really release anything until they really they're going to have to say something now.
Right.
I should think so.
Much like we said about Toby Keith, we said it about other celebrities. And let's be honest, King Charles is a celebrity. It's still a human being, and I don't wish bad shit on many people. But I hope he kicks out. I hope he does well. But in the event that he doesn't, Godspeed, sir. Godspeed.
Good luck.
This
Good
is the
luck. I
part
hope
where we
it's-
check out. This is the part where we check out till next week.
That's right.
Matt, you gonna join us next week?
I don't know. I don't have much going on as far as where the Super Bowl goes, but I should definitely be in for the weekend after, or the week
Yeah,
after.
chances are we're not going to do a whole lot of Super Bowl talk next week. We'll find some random topic.
Something else.
But February 20th,
Unless
am I
something
the
crazy-
asshole?
Unless something stupidly insane happens,
Like Herm shits a golden brick.
it could happen.
It could happen. We'll find out. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Take it easy, fellas.
Later.
In your beds tonight, judgment falls upon you at first light. I'm the hand of God, I'm the dark Messiah, I'm the vengeful blood. In the blackest moments of a dying world, what have you become?
My heart's on fire, is far higher, Senora. For yes, as long as you desire, Senorita, we're gonna ride. Forget the mañana and come to Havana with me.
With me.
On my
Ah, that
Cuban
was,
Cabaret.
Desi Arnaz, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Good night, everyone.